for another video. I tried to make a video about this several times. I keep changing my mind about how I want to make it because I yammered on a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of truths to shit like this that you can be making a long ass fucking video, and you're better off breaking it down and getting to the point. But one of the main points here too is whether you're black or white, you should stay away from what your own people are doing, and live your life so you can't be accused. And then I'm also going to throw in here that whether you're black or white, the far left and the far right, they both want you to be coming to their altar sick and hurting, and they seem to think you're morally or psychologically deranged or deprived or deficient or deranged if you want to empower yourself some kind of way and walk around with a cocky look on your face and like you have your own ideas of what truth is. The far right, which whether you're black or white, the church, the white church or the black church, or the church that's a little bit of everybody. Some are good, charity is good, and it's also, I can't stand some religion, big religion, but it should be a safe space to stay the fuck away from these drugs and everything, because there's a video out there called The Story of Your Enslavement, and I think they call it human farming, and they should have another version of that video where the subculture, the story of your enslavement was talking about government. Governments are all farms, right? But then there's the subculture. Well, the story of your enslavement did talk about the mafia model, which was they don't always own the businesses directly, but they send thugs to extort from the business owners. But then at the same time, a lot of us believe our government and different places are mafia owned. And every race and every culture has its mafia and its underground, which is another version of human farming. It's a human farming subculture, and it, at its convenience, plays people of different races against each other. But anyway, get that out of the way. But I was watching this one video. I found it when, you got all the different people making fun of the Jussie Smollett thing, and I kept putting off his video, and I kept, doing retakes because there's stuff that I'm yammering on and on. But yeah, started trying to make this video when I found a video about the last time they said they were trying to retry Jussie Smollett, okay, and one comedian talked about that, and I found this comedian, he's talking about, white people from Ohio, they love heroin, and how you know some of your own people, and it's actually, I for one, when I see shit like this, and if you know, I'm not into no kind of damn Aryan nations or any kind of freaking KKK or any kind of shit like that. Man, I saw that all over these documentaries, everything from Gangland to all these other documentaries. Those people, you get groups that don't like one race or the other, but they're selling heroin too. Say if I had any problem with somebody a different race as me, I sure as shit wasn't going to join them. In fact, if you're in a neighborhood prison where they're dominated by them, that's no different than anywhere else. If you're damn near required to join that shit, or things can turn out real bad for you in some kind of way, But, there's the people, it goes both ways, everybody wants their piece of that drug dealing pie or whatever to finance their shit. A lot of other people, you can't stand religion, but people want to go as a religion to their safe place. I'm almost tempted to talk about that shit with the Jehovah's Witnesses that are standing by the corner by the police station in my neighborhood when I walk by every once in a while. And if you're black or white watching this, I also wanted to say too, yes, get involved in charity. And that's another thing too. You got big religion on TV. I ain't putting down either side. If you're black or white, you need somebody to look up to that says a good thing. That's fine. But They all want their fucking big-ass paychecks, their fancy airplanes, and don't know where this coronavirus thing is going, but there's going to be a point, some big crisis, where these big churches are almost going to be, their hand is almost going to be forced. I'm almost saying the government might want to step in and just say, it's not conspiracy theory, but we do have executive orders in government during crisis. Government can seize money, finances, gasoline, vehicles, and everything in a crisis and everything. And your big religions and all that, while you're they're lining their pockets first and their big missions, and they think they deserve fancy cars and everything. Dumbasses people, whether they're black or white, both races have dumbasses that are giving money to these big-ass religions, while people in their own towns right there are deteriorating. Both black people, white people. That's why I say it's important to get involved in a charity during the holiday time. Stand out in the cold, even though you don't want to. Get out there and endure the fucking weather. Be grateful that you ain't homeless. And plus, so that you can't get accused of wanting to buy money, steal money by crack. I'm saying, maybe start doing something extra. Keep the public trust in front of the people. Go on social media and say, hey, look, motherfuckers, yeah, you're going to try to accuse me. Say, oh, yeah, I'm on crack or heroin and all that. Like I said, I see this comedian on there. I think they should spread this guy's video around, because I don't know if it should do any good or not, but when people hear, if that's what they're saying about certain people, that's what they're saying. And if you are white, if that's what they're saying about white people, or they're saying that, I don't care what race you are. If they're saying this shit about you, you're black or white, you should be doing something and say, I don't want nothing to do with that shit, man. And just like an old comedian making the jokes about white people, all that, and then you gotta be saying, well, we're not all like that. A lot of us want to run like hell from that shit. As a matter of fact, I actually think it's funny. I'm not all mad about it. I don't want to flip that comedian off. I actually think that shit like this should, for white people, should make them be like, holy shit, is that what they're saying about us? And there's all these other ones of our own kind. It's the truth. Then you're looking at all these YouTube videos. Look on the Vice YouTube channel. There's this one I was watching, says they're pointing to this tent camp over there. There's places like, well, they're talking about videos like Seattle, San Francisco, and is a shithole and everything else. I saw on this one YouTube channel, there's these people, he's pointing to these tents over here, right? And he says, yeah, see the one guy in that tent over there? He used to be a restaurant owner, very successful, and he got addicted to drugs, and pow. Gotta wake up. Yeah, if you're both black or white, you gotta fucking wake up. I think it's like I think we're almost living like John Carpenter's They Live. I mean, I made jokes about, I have had some friends and people that I work with in job assignments. I worked in these certain jobs where it's like Uber, but only you don't make the living with your car. If you have a car or whatever, you kind of like Uber, you have an app and you take a certain job assignment, how far you want to drive. In certain industrial places, like cleaning baseball fields and all kind of shit like that. They pay you a lot, damn good money an hour, right? But the only thing is, you don't get to go permanent, and it may be a few days, few weeks, and more money an hour. But yeah, I met some friends that are both black and white, and certain people I knew that I've seen time and time again. Black gentlemen. Yeah, we made jokes about it, like. They know about John Carpenter's They Live. We're laughing about it. Put the glasses on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bullshit, with they're using drugs and using all kind of other bullshit to bring white people down, black people down, and play us off against each other. And if you have certain kind of people that you were friends with, either your town or you work next to and see every now and then, and say maybe they had an experience, you don't even hardly do shit. You don't do no bullshit like other people do, and maybe you got stopped by the police for some reason because of he said, she said. You have people that are the other race of you, and you talk about that. And some of us actually believed it. Just like me, for example, and then you have a friend of another race as you that have the same experience, and you're talking about John Carpenter's They Live, the scene where police start walking up to you, you know too much, and they claim somebody called and called the cops and said you were walking around drunk. And they know, some people know fucking well the whole town knows you don't even got time to drink like people say you do, and you're coming from somewhere else, and then in my case, and maybe somebody who's black is watching, or white is watching too, you try in the holidays, extra time that you have, you know, with the kind of line of work you does, if your line of work slows down in the wintertime, right, do a charity, and the whole fucking town knows it, right? Like you don't even go to church, but you do the stuff at charities. You made friends, both black and white, in the charity, and you know all of a sudden, half the whole fucking town knows. If you in a town like that, and then somebody uses cops against you, like maybe once in a while, like I says, some people are looking for wrong in you. They're jealous, you know. So, oh yeah, 2 cops come right out screeching their tires, stopping. I'm like, how can I help you? Somebody called and said you were walking around drunk. You were roaming the streets drunk. I'm like, really? And it says, put your hands on the car, we're going to search you, right? And you get a cop coming. He's threatening violence. He says, if you refuse, you pull any kind of shit, I'll knock your fucking ass out. So cops coming down, you know, messing with peaceful people, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the drug use is rampant. In a lot of places, that's a damn shame. I could tell you some stories of people I saw staggering around and shit, you know. It's no joke, you know. And like I said, that should, anything a comedian of another race says, or a comedian in the same race as you, hey, I can go in a place and joke about white people myself and get a bunch of people of other race laughing, you know. But I do it hopefully that they don't have to share the dysfunction and problems that their people have, but say, I actually did it and get laughs, you know, and you know how, you know, you got a few friends here and there, you don't want to pry into their business, and you just make jokes, and if they want to say, oh, they had a relative that was a real asshole, fine. Like that, that's the way it should be. Nobody should be getting into fights or any kind of shit like that. But anyway, yeah, I felt like I was in a scene from John Carpenter's They Live. You know, cops coming over there out of nowhere, threatening violence. Yeah, they go and check you, pick your pockets and everything. And how come you have 2 phones? Well, one is my calling phone, and one is my camera and my MP3 player. And okay, and then they have you put your head up and check and see if you're doing cocaine. Well, yeah, you're involved in some charity. You can be black or white watching, right? You're in maybe do something for charity. You got busybodies, he said, she said, and then you got the snitches and the informants. They want to make names for themselves, and when they don't got nothing on a particular person, they leave no stone unturned. You know, it's almost like what the fuck's his name? The former mayor of New York. He conceded. He only got Samoa. He didn't even get no other states on his side. Bloomberg, you know, frisk everybody on the street. Jeez. Yeah, if he actually got president, he would have been doing that with all of us. I couldn't. Yeah, see somebody like if you have dreads or ponytail like me, and wrong person, you know, in government or even local government, getting beaten down and. Like Henry Rollins said in his Everything audiobook CD, Henry Rollins said, guy gets wall slammed by a cop that likes to prey on what he regards as subhuman. Yeah, like, they don't like it when, a lot of people don't like it when you disprove them, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta listen to what other people are saying, what people joke about. It should be saying, "Oh fuck, man, I don't want that shit near me, man. I ain't like that." You know, that is what it should do. You know, a comedian says something, and everybody should get together and joke about it. Like, hey, I have friends that are, I had friends that are a couple of different nationalities that I met in the past. You know, and some of your friends that are other colors, you talk about John Carpenter's They Live, because you got not only the authorities, you got the other side of the culture that wants to. Yeah, like I was trying to say, the far or left and the far right both want you broken and hurting. The extreme far right religion They want you to be all crying at the altar, and they want to break your spirits and get completely subservient to them. And then the other side that hates religion wants you to be broken and hurting, and they want you to be constantly on antidepressant medications, and then now that they're legalizing the marijuana for everything. They want everybody, the next generation, to imagine they're sick, so they get the marijuana. They don't give a fuck about legalizing marijuana. They don't give a fuck about the sick. The governor of my state of Pennsylvania don't give a fuck about the sick. He just, for his buddies in Big Pharma, line the pockets for his buddies in Big Pharma. Fucking, yeah, and then he's allowing, people are protesting to this. They want to allow the injecting centers, or the shooting up centers, I call them. Oh, to save a lot. Fuck you. And they're and plus he's all that shit he was doing about a couple years in a row, balancing a budget stalemates. Then, oh my God, it's a crisis. So many people dying. Like they weren't fucking dying already. Come the fuck on. And after all that trouble, budget stalemates, throws a bunch of money Narcan. So he can go on, look at me, all this empathy. I'm saving lives, and I want injection centers. His buddies in Big Pharma for that damn Narcan too. All that Narcan. He got buddies that are making money off of that too. Don't fucking think he ain't. Yeah, fucking hypocrite, because he was fucking throwing money at that Narcan and injection centers, and then I saw on the news that he was trying to close a home down that was for disabled people. There's a lot of he wanted to close it down. Oh, he wants to say, because he was throwing money at all this other shit to feel. I did a whole video on this about the hypocrisy, the fake-ass empathy. Empathy for this, okay. Oh, I threw all this money in the budget, state budget, for this empathy. Now I got to close something down for handicaps to make up the money I spent to balance the budget. Fuck you. That's what they do. Every time somebody is in politics, or sometimes even big religion, they throw money at this. Then they're damn sneaky, hope it don't make the news, and cut the funding for this, and don't make the news. Fake ass empathy. Yeah, I could go on and on about extra things, that relates, but yeah, long ass video. Yeah, but then the far left, the far right, if it wasn't so far to the right, should be a safe space, right? Nothing wrong with doing some charity, and plus a safe place, so you can't be accused. Stay out of bullshit, whether you're black or white. Then the far left, they want you to be broken and hurting at their altar, and they want you to be drooling over, oh yeah, the dream. Everybody wants to make the getting high illegal. You really addicted to the drug, or you addicted to getting high? Yeah. Some people say it's the same thing. It is and it isn't. Ain't there somebody that you want to do something empowering, like a type of exercise that's get addicted to get addicted to some kind of thrive on a little bit of pain once in a while. It's fucking healthy, and they'll try to say shit. Don't even get me started on the shit they tried to say there, because they want to break you down. The millennials now. You see all these. Yeah, I like some of them. Most of them are white kids, white nerds now. That use the next generation. You see them now. They're skinny arms and these t-shirts and shorts, and they're like avoiding muscle development. And they say all kind of different stuff. You're either hurting yourself or it's violent. They want a new culture, and they want to make everybody gay and everybody transgender to the equality extremism. You do a whole video on it. They want everybody to be the same, and everybody to be sick and depressed, and get you addicted to stuff. Like Henry Rollins once said, get everybody addicted to something. If you're not addicted, they'll send somebody to your door to try to get you addicted to something. Don't get me wrong, too. There's people that get addicted to steroids. I've seen things like that, too. Maybe you have a job that's high intensity, and try and take some steroids, stay stronger at the time, lifting stuff up all the time. Then, I've seen these YouTube videos, people taking all that shit, and it's actually killing them. You know what I mean? Or they're injecting things in themselves to make themselves look like on the outside, and they're really blowed up freaks, everything else. Oh, gee, I see a lot of. Don't even get me started on that side. You know what I mean? But yeah, the biggest mistake I think is everybody is taught to be hurting. And then there are some cases, if you're a little bit of athletic, you got there for work, teach you that you're hurting and you need something like get people into muscle relaxers, into pain medications, and cheating. Well, you don't just cheat with steroids. There's these people that cheat with shit like that because, well, you got other people too that actually, in certain sports, you damage something later on. If you don't get out of it and retire, while you're still ahead, you might have some permanent damage, spinal and everything like that. That's sad though too. People actually get legitimate pains and they're getting on all these different painkillers and have to up the dose. That's not a joke. That's a addiction that's legitimate pain and they're really in constant pain. And you want to cry for them people, believe me. Because, definitely not a joke there. They have an accident or whatever. And what happens, they keep up in the dose. I've seen about them people, they keep up in the dose because they get immune to it right then. The medical problem doesn't kill them because they keep up in the dose of this shit kills them. Some people using that shit to get high and they're taught that every little thing is a pain. Then you get people that have legitimate things happen to them, that aren't no joke, constant pain, and they have to keep, what I'm saying? They have to keep up in the dose and ultimately, they're dying from that more than, Don't get me started on it, and don't fucking try to say that bullshit that, they try to say that bullshit. Both sides try to say that bullshit if you don't believe their way. Oh, you don't have no empathy for everybody. And, there are people telling you, the far left says, oh, you have to take some kind of drugs or something. In their culture, some of these cultures now, they're teaching you you're high and mighty. You don't take no antidepressant drug or something wrong with you. You don't do anything to get high now. You're not into any of that. And they're saying you're a I know the white people of the drug culture have their own rhetoric too, that if you hold the job or even if you don't hold the job all the time, that you use whatever money you have to go buy yourself a sandwich and beer or something at a restaurant, or buy yourself that new Bluetooth speaker, that CD or DVD or stereo instead. Oh, you're a bunch of different expletives, different jargon, different figures of speech or whatever the fuck you call them, different slang. Both black and white people have that slang, in the drug culture, that you're blankety blank this and that, and it's usually in the order of being effing high and mighty. You're too good, like there's something wrong with you want to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whether you're white or black, you're empowered for a while when you got your fancier factory job like I had. Well, I'm going to tell you that old story. You get laid off and you're working shit jobs later, right? If you're black or white, say you're working real well with a nice car, then you're working shit jobs for a while because they close up the shop, you know what I mean, for all whatever reasons. Then empowerment takes a whole different turn. When you're a little poorer, what do you do to empower yourself then, Do something physically to empower yourself, or extra time, like you care about the poor. Do something to care about the poor. And so even if you're poorer and you don't hold a job, there's a way to find some kind of empowerment, like using your last buck to do something else. Shit, I think it's, you don't want to get into gambling, but I think it's a hell of a thing to try to play a lottery ticket, get a buck or two to play the lottery ticket rather than getting a bunch of money together to go buy fucking crack. Or some people like some of us, laugh in the face of the haters, so you just, what? Yeah, extra money. I ain't buying no crack. Look at me, I'm going out and buying this or that. Or then if you're involved in a charity too, you got to do a little something extra to keep the public trust so nobody can try to say you're stealing. The camera eye is everywhere. Watch people go by. Like the late George Carlin said, before the internet commerce got as big as it is, late George Carlin said people like to shop, buy things, and eat. See, I'm in a charity every year, see there's some hope in mankind, some humanity. People are friendly and out there in the cold doing this. People are nice to you. They're buying you burgers and fries, and you're not even asking them to. You don't want to do anything to look like you're stealing, so maybe you want to disprove your haters, put that pay that you get for that organization to be out there, put it in the bucket along there, because thank you, the people that are so nice to me. I want to keep your trust. I want to keep your trust. And then I also want to do this to the people that want to try to say you're on crack or you're on heroin, Whether that's another thing, whether you're black or white, you got the hens and the gossips. They're on both races. That, yes, drugs are rampant everywhere, but they like the hens, the gossips, and the female and the male gossips, no matter how you disprove them. There's that thing where it's all true, but at the same time, there's all these gossips that want to say, yeah, that drug use is so common, but at the same time, the gossips want to say, you're into all that shit. Then when you disprove them, you openly disprove them. They're very spiteful people. No matter how you disprove people right in front of their faces, you get these fuckers that want to believe it like a religion. They probably got a fucking shrine they got a fucking shrine in their fucking house or their apartment, dedicated. Probably has your name on it, a couple other people's name on it, a shrine and maybe a statue, a voodoo doll of you somewhere, and they're chanting so and so. John Jane's on crack. John Jane's on, or whoever. So and so Joe Schmo's on crack, or Jane's on crack. Yeah, so you got the shit that's true, and then you got the people that are jealous haters, that the gossips and the hens and everybody that, they're mad because you disprove them, and you fucking, they'll literally do a temple or a shrine dedicated to the idea that you're probably on crack or whatever. They figure they keep saying it repetitively enough, they make it true, so, there's the ones that are into it, and then there's the ones that are out to make it true. You know what I'm saying? You got the people that are out there to make it true. So if you're black or white watching, John Carpenter's They Live. I mean, the evil is on both sides, There's the drug culture, and there's the far left and the far right. One side, love. Yeah, the far left in government and everything, and it pretends to have empathy. They love the drug culture, they're all sick, they're all victims. And they want to make sure they stay that way, and they want to generate more victims. And then the far right is accused of having no empathy at all, and they're accused of wanting all the depressed and all the drug users to jump off a cliff. And somebody out there is making money, like even in government and authority. It's so rampant because the very authorities out there and people in your government are taking the protection money, and they want to make laws to make all this shit legal in circumstances so it can line the pockets of all their big pharma buddies and all the ones that were taking the protection money for the illegal shit in the first place. You know what I mean? But there you have it. That's the whole truth to my knowledge over there. I mean, I gotta tell you, remind you, the end of this. If you're black or watching, you got couple choice people, neighbors, friends, they're the other race. It's John Carpenter's They Live. We're to a certain extent, we are living the John Carpenter's They Live movie. I'm telling you. I mean, nobody is what they seem. They're behind a mask. They're behind an ugly mask. There's a lot of shit that needs to be avoided. You can be accused of it, then you know what all of it's out there. You got to stay. They all want to take you with them.